to the give free treatment, doesn't matter who they are, and no patient was declined. Also, it doesn't matter about his religion or ethnicity. And three, gender separation. And these are the rules. Also, the characteristics of the buildings. They have advanced architectures, as I said before, so it's large. And the second one is teaching research centers, also the pharmacies and treatment of mental illness. So the mental illness people are treated as sick individuals, they are not imprisoned. For example, Al-Adudi hospitals in Baghdad, 1981 century. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Very good. Now, sisters, who's going to tell us about Bimar stands? Group. Oh, do you want to come over, inshallah? Very good, mashallah, so far. Brilliant presentations, mashallah. Sister, just tell us what's your name and where you are from.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Icha, I'm from Indonesia and I'm representing Group 4. It's talking about Brimastian, the Gold Age. So the Brimastian is become from the word Bimar, it means the sick, and Tians or stands, it means the place. So Brimastian, it means the place for the sick people. It means the hospital in our college right now. For the earlier and the 8th to 13th centuries, Islamic medicine is good for it. There is only for the hospitalities in Baghdad, and later it become in Cairo, and the 10th centuries is become spread for every place in the Baghdad. So after that, the feature and the character is the public is free. They are talking and teaching about the hospital. They are teaching about the medicine. And we must point it, they has the special treatment for the hospital, especially in Cairo. It's for the mental treatment. It's such as sunscreen and the water breath. It can help you, treat you, be healthier in mental illness. And there is most of the demonstrators for Islamic in this center is as Ibn Sina, Ibn al-Asa, then it being a rules for the Western hospital. That's all. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Fantastic. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Now, who's going to tell us about female physicians from the sisters? Do you want to come, please? We'll come to you, Akhi. Yeah. Female Muslim physicians not being highlighted enough. This is why I left it as a separate topic. Okay, sister.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
I'm Habibah from Indonesia, and my team have present about female Muslim physician in the history of Islamic medicine. When we think in Islamic medicine, we often recall great male scholars like Ibn Sina or Al-Razi. But behind the scenes, and sometimes on the front lines, were remarkable Muslim women healing the battlefield tents, hospital wards, and even within the Prophet Mosque. Their story is not a side note. It's a vital chapter in our history. I will tell you guys about one doctor who is Muslim. There is Rufaida al-Islamiyah. Rufaida was born in 620 CE in Medina. Rufaida is widely regarded as the first Muslim nurse and surgeon, and one of the earliest known female medical practitioners in Islamic history. She set up field hospitals during battles such as Badr, Uhud, Khaybar, and deployed what looked like the world's first documented mobile care units. Muhammad SAW reportedly directed all the wounded to her. And known for her kindness, leadership, and organizational skill, Rufaida trained many women as nurse and caregiver, enacted early standard of hygiene and stabilization. So we know that in Islamic history, pioneers like Rufaida al-Islamiyah, Asifa bin Abdullah, and Nusayda bin Haris exemplified courage, compassion, and excellence in medicine, long before it was common for women to do so. Their legacy is a reminder that the path of healing is deeply rooted in faith, knowledge, and service. So today, for all the aspiring Muslim brother and sister, your journey is part of this noble tradition. Walk with passion, purpose, and tawakkul. Lead with grace, learn with humility, and let your work to be a search of healing and light. This work needs you. Step forward and confidence. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, brothers, please just try to summarize something extra hasn't been mentioned, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So the sister did a very thorough job, so I'll just be adding some points that I think are interesting. So Zainab of Banu Aud was the earliest known female to specialize in ophthalmology.
Zainab bint Bani Aud. She said Rufaida al-Islamiyya, and now the second one, Zainab bint Aud.
Yes, and she was in Damascus, Syria. And then we have Tawhida bin Sheikh, which was the first female physician in North Africa. She pioneered contraception clinics and she advocated for legal abortion. And then we have Zahira Hafiz Abdin, who is referred to as the mother of Egyptian pediatrics. She is amongst the first in Egypt to diagnose and treat congenital heart conditions, and she developed protocols for the diagnosis and management of these conditions.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
Shukran.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. And now, from the brothers, who's going to tell us about Al-Zahrawi? Don't come, Akhi. You need a taxi coming here. Allah yawik, Akhi Ammar.
What about the first university by Fatima?
About? Sorry?
فاطمة كانت في الجامعة.
Fatima Al-Fahriya. You'll hear from. I'll tell you later, inshallah, about it. تفضل أخي. Just right. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Omar Harbe. Our group focused on Al-Zahrawi. His nickname is Abul Qasim.
Few points.
Okay, Abul Qasim. If you search on Google, you will find Abul Qasis. He is an Arab Muslim scientist. He lives in Andalus. His nickname also is the father of surgery because he invented over 200 surgical tools, as well as he associated with bone setting. He set some stitching filaments from animals such as sheep, and he also discovered hemophilia.
Have you heard this? This is the plain catgut from intestinal, from sheep intestines to stitch the wound.
Also, his famous book called At-Tasrif. His information is about illness, injuries, medical conditions, and treatment. He started also new techniques for bladder stone removal, and he is founder of cosmetic surgery, such as removing facial scars and repair cleft lips. And
Okay.
that's it.
Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah. Ladies, sisters, I know the second person always slightly bit more difficult because just need to add what's not being mentioned. So we don't repeat it, just mention, please, sister.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I am Aisha from Malaysia. So I think most of the points have been mentioned by the brother. So I'll just add some 2 points, which is the first one is he identified the nature of hemophilia. So he described a condition in certain families where males bleed excessively from minor injury, and actually the bleeding was quite difficult to stop. And then he observed that this condition ran in families, especially among male children, while females were carriers. And the next point is about Al-Zahrawi also is the first to describe a case of abdominal pregnancy, which is a rare form of ectopic pregnancy. He explained signs of abnormal labor and fetal death in the abdomen, providing early recognition of complications from ectopic gestation. That's all.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah. Now, the last topic on the history of Islamic ethics, Islamic medical ethics. Sister, do you want to come over? MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalam rahmatullah.
My name is Rabi'a Abdullah. I'm representing Group 7. I'll be presenting on the history of Islamic medical ethics. So the history of Islamic medical ethics was developed during the Islamic Golden Age based on Quran, Hadith, Sunnah, and the Greek medical ethics from Galen and Hippocrates. The pioneers or the major contributors to the Islamic medical ethics include Ishaq ibn Ali al-Rahawi, who developed the Adab al-Tabib, the earliest Islamic medical ethical books. We have Al-Razi and Ibn Sina, who advocated for evidence-based medicine. They came up with the core principles of Islamic medical ethics, which include man is honored. So we, as mentioned in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ قَدَّرْنَا بَنِي Adam, man is honored. We have honored the children of Adam, regardless of their color, their race, and social status. The second one is the right to live, the sanctity of life. So, Hurmat al-Haya. Life is a sacred gift from Allah and must be protected with utmost care. So we have beneficence, ihsan, act in the best interest of the patient. Non-maleficence, wala dharara wala dirar, do not cause harm or return harm. And we also have justice, fairly, you need to be fair without discrimination, regardless of the social status, race, and background. We also have mas'uliyah, accountability to God. All actions, the public or private, ultimately answerable before Allah. Yeah. So we also have the 5 essentials, the darurat al-khams. That is darurat al-din wal-nafs wal-aql wal-nasl wal-mal, religion, life, intellect, lineage, and property.
Jazakallah khair. What sisters actually, it's gone beyond even the history to tell us about the principles behind. It's like darurat al-fiqhiyya. Why Islamic medical ethics being, what's based on, like la darara wa la dirar and the other ones, mashallah. We'll probably hear about them on the last day. Now, brothers, do you want to finalize your bit, something never been mentioned? Mainly in the history, please. Jazakallah khair. This is the last bit. And then we start.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I am Zulfikar Ali from Bangladesh, representing Group 7.
My presentation, next one.
I just only some points about history of medical ethics.
This is my presentation, next one.
Sister says about Al-Ruhawi and Ibn Sina. I'll say it about Al-Razi, who wrote Kitab al-Mansuri about the medicine and medical ethics, and Ibn al-Nafis, who emphasized evidence-based medicine and the duties of the doctors.
It's not me. Yeah. Second one. He's doing it.
Basically, the Islamic medical ethics, something different from Hippocratic oath, because we are Muslim, we have to follow the Islamic rules and regulations. Islamic medical ethics guided about us the 5 principles, which is called about the Makashid al-Sharia. 5 principles of Makashid al-Sharia wrote Professor Dr. Omar Hassan al-Kashuli. The 5 principle is protection of religion, which means hifz al-din, protection of life, hifz al-nafs, protection of intellect, hifz al-aql, protection of lineage, Hifz al-Nasl, and protection of properties, Hifz al-Mal. And the modern revival of the medical ethics was started 20th and 21st century about organ transplantations, IVF, and reproductive technologies, genetic resources, and euthanasia. Thank you very much for hearing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاكم الله خير. أخي, can we delete what is set up audio settings? Is it? Are you going to delete it? Okay. I think the brother. Can we delete this, the top, Akhi? It's just in the middle of the slide. Or if we can drag it to, yeah, that's it. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum. I think I'm just going to summarize it, but a slightly bit long presentation. Sharif Kafal Ghazal is my name. I'm a plastic surgeon. Why do we really need to study the history of Islamic medicine? I'm going to take you through probably maybe most of what we've said, maybe in slightly different ways. I think number one, as you've said already, to educate ourselves. We cannot really tell the others, educate the others before we educate ourselves. We need to know about our own history before we tell the people. I think it's our important task. Everybody, if you're a student, if you're qualified doctors or even nurses, even physiotherapists, or any specialty, to know at least about your subspecialty, so you can teach the people what Muslims did before. Because what we see nowadays in Gaza is very much like dehumanization of the people in Gaza, almost like Muslims come from nothing. No, Muslims have a great civilization, and we're going to prove it. So this is important. Number two, the inspiration of our new generation, the students, the young people, young ladies, young men. So they need to feel they're really part of this great civilization which started almost 1,000 years ago. Again, I think number three, which is really quite important, is to correct some misconceptions. And what I mean by this, is it not moving, Akhi? That's the one. So if we look at this slide, they're talking about it's a short history of medicine, but it's 600 pages. Hardly you get 6 lines only talking about Al-Zahrawi. This is not fair, obviously. So we need to correct these ideas. Also, if we if you look at the book here, this is on surgery, Schwartz, and talk about ligations of vessels. They just jump from Galenos to Pere, almost like 1,500 years, without mentioning great figures called Al-Zahrawi. Again, this is something, it's our responsibility to correct this information. And we're going to prove how we're going to do this. This is another reason. Also, I think moving the slide is slightly bit... Okay, I'll probably do it from here. Okay. Why is it not moving? Can I control it from here, the slide? Yes. Yeah, put it. Yeah. Okay, fine. Now, also, when we read the discovery of the pulmonary circulation, which is done by, we all know Ibn Nafis, the great. But unfortunately, the West, they claim that William Harvey is the one without giving the credit to Ibn Nafis. Akhi Abdurrahman, it's not moving. I think probably maybe. I'm happy to control it from here. Okay, fine. So let's move on. We mentioned this slide before. This is how the West would like to teach us that almost there is amnesia, faqd zakira, almost like people in the West, they just jump from the Greek Roman civilization to the Renaissance, the Usur al-Nahda, without mentioning what's happened in the Middle Age. They call it Dark Ages. True, it was Dark Ages in Europe, not all Europe, part of Europe, because there's a Muslims even in Europe on the Middle Ages, and they did quite a lot. So it's going to be a big presentation, so I'm going to fly. So please bear with me and try to follow. I hope we had some enough tea and coffee, so we'll keep awake. Inshallah. So we'll start, as we mentioned, the translation movement, Baytul Hikmah. Baytul Hikmah is actually almost like the in Baghdad, like intellectual powerhouse. It is a great college. It has almost most of the subspecialties, and it was a great movement when they start the translation. As we mentioned, translation, they did stop only on translating books, but adding to it. Hanin bin Ishaq was the first to start this. He was in charge. And by the way, Hanin ibn Ishaq, he was not even Muslims. He was a Christian, but all these people worked under the Muslim umbrella in a great harmony. And yes, they translated the Greek books, Jalinos and the others. And without this, the Greek civilization will be completely lost. I'm talking about not just only medicine, other things, but today we're focusing on the medical side. But Muslims didn't only translate to Jalinos. They had quite a lot of differences, and they have their own ideas. They have when they wrote the books, they have the observation, they have the experiments as well, the way of thinking. The books had different writing, chapters, articles, and they had the references. They added references to the books. They had the science of pharmacy and the drugs, and also regulating pharmacy. As we mentioned, prophylactic medicine and the medicine of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and also the principle of Bimar stands, the hospitals, surgery, and they criticized Galen in different ways, as you can see here. I've just put some examples like Al-Baghdadi, Zahrawi, Ibn Nafis. They had a few criticism to Jalinos, and they mentioned this. But when they criticize, they call it in a very nice way. Look at what he said here, Al-Razi, in his book, Manafi' al-Aghziya. And he said, he's got some different idea from what Jalinos say. أشرح مما عمله الفاضل جالينوس فإنه غلط في كثير من الأحيان. So Jalinos is an honorable Jalinos, an honorable man. They criticize in a very, very decent way. Also, we mentioned before, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he mentioned lots of health guidance, mainly in prophylactic medicine, like preventive medicine. Yes, we mentioned about diet, and we also mentioned that eat and drink, but not excessively. كلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا, as in an ayah in the Quran Kareem. Also, drinking alcohol is prohibited. Seeking treatment is important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hadith, ما أنزل الله من داء إلا وأنزل له دواء. علمه من علم وجهله من جهل. So that whoever knows this, he knows it, and whoever is ignorant of this is ignorant of it. So that means indirectly, go and search for the cure of this. There's no disease without cure. Also the psychology here, Sister Nabila, I'm sure can agree with this. No Muslim experience any harm or disease without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stripping away his wrong actions from him. Like a tree which sheds its leaves. ما من مسلم يصيبه أذى شوكة فما فوقها إلا حط الله به تعالى به من سيئاته كما تحط الشجر أوراقها. So that will give the Muslim person bit of relief. Even if I've been tested with disease, I'll be rewarded inshallah. And there's many other things like honey and miswak and habba sauda, habbat al-baraka, and all of this. I'm going to say, probably maybe just jump, what did the Muslim state did? The Muslim state, as we know, they all honor studying medicine, practice medicine. One of the Umayyad princes, Khalid bin Yazid, he left his position. He gave up his treasure just for the sake of studying medicine in Alexandria, in Iskandariya. And also, as we mentioned before, Abbasi Khalifa, Harun al-Rashid, and the others, they used to pay weight of translated book of gold just to encourage studying medicine and writing in medicine. Also, the Awqaf, we know the Awqaf is actually been supporting building hospitals and helping poor people. We mentioned here Harun al-Rashid, he asked Al-Razi to build a hospital in Baghdad. This is one of the first hospitals. So Al-Razi, he took few different pieces of meat, and put it in different areas in Baghdad. And the least being spoiled, that means good fresh air. So this is where he built the hospital in Baghdad. Just try to move on. So, starting Bimaristan. I think Bimaristan is not just only a place to treat people, it's a place to teach medicine as well. Probably maybe, as we mentioned, one of the first hospitals was in Ghazwat al-Khandaq. As-Sayyida Rufayda al-Islamiyya, she used to help the Muslims, the injured Muslims in Ghazwat al-Khandaq, and she was one of the first one to do so. Also in year 700, Al-Walid bin Abd al-Malik, he ordered to have a hospital for Juzam, leprosy. On that time, leprosy used to be treated, do you know how? Just kill the people who had leprosy, just to kill them, because it's very infectious disease, very infectious. In Europe, they used to kill them by decree, condemn leprosy to be burned to death by royal decrees. This is where Muslims used to treat them, and treat them in a very dignified way. Okay, so I'm just going to mention maybe a couple of hospitals. In the Muslim world, there probably may be over, I put here 34 hospitals, at least big centers, I would say, big medical centers. I'm going to touch on one of them. Now, in 1248 in Cairo, Mashfa al-Mansuri, the Bimaristan al-Mansuri, 8,000 beds. What does it mean, 8,000? Just to try to make it easier for you to figure out the number. In Kenya, in Nairobi, Kenyatta National Hospital, hardly get 1,800 beds. This is one of the biggest hospitals, not just only in Kenya, maybe in the whole Eastern Africa. 1,800. But Al-Mansuri, 8,000. So this is over 5-6 times more. And this hospital, not just only the largest hospital, it has a specialized ward for medicine, surgery, fractures, eye. It has a free admissions, regardless the race, regardless the background or religion. Physicians from all different faces, they practice in harmony. There's medical school, there's a library, there's a place to meet, and also housing for students and for the staff. Ibn Nafis was the chief physician. He came from Syria, from Damascus, to be the dean. He was probably maybe one of the very first ones. But not only this, we had a lady. She's a Muslim female called Bintu Shihab al-Din ibn Sayr. She was one of the chief physicians of Al-Mansouri Hospital. Is a lady. Also, there is no time for inpatient treatment. So the treatment very much focus on the patient. Patient wouldn't be discharged. It's not like nowadays we are under pressure. Whatever we practice, we are under pressure because we need a bed. Get the patient, send them home. We need another one to fill the bed. No, that time patient can stay till he or she is ready to go home. What's the sign? Tell me, what's the sign the patient is recovered and ready to go home? They say when the patient can eat full chicken. So this is the idea. When the patient's really quite recovered, they'll be sent home, not just only with the sick allowance, they will be given a bit of pocket money, and because patients been off work for a while, so there's a great social care service that time. Separate wards, male, female, as we mentioned, and we had a proper record, mosque, chapels, paths, water, running water, when Europe has got no even running water that time. So this has been well recognized even in the West. Many articles published on the influence of Bimaristan. In Damascus, Bimaristan Nouri. Can you hear this, Brother Omar? In Damascus, Bimaristan Nouri. Whoever's actually know Dimashq, منطقة الحريقة in Bimaristan Nouri is really quite one of the old hospitals. Ibn Nafis, he graduated from there. And also, not just only physical medicine, there's even mental health. So Bimaristan Argon al-Kamili, Sister Nabila, and this is in Aleppo, in Halab. This is photos taken from 2005. Unfortunately, in 10 years after 2015, this is Aleppo, the barrel bombs being done, so Bimaristan al-Kamili is gone, unfortunately. Licensing, granting license to physicians is very important also. So Sinan bin Sabit, being asked, he's one of the physicians, he's been asked to screen over 860 people. And Al-Razi, he used to examine them, basic science and the clinical science, before they grant him the ijaza. And this is one of the ijaza from Morocco. If you can read it, I don't know if you can or not. This is one a very old ijaza, the license to practice, being published. Every practice physician need to have 3 senior doctors to say he is ready to practice. But that's not the only requirement. The main requirement, he needs at least 15 well-known, respected people, wujaha al-qawm, wujaha al-hay, to say, look, this man, he's a good manner, he's been attending salah in jama'ah, and he's been going to the mosque regularly, and he's very well known as quite good behaved person. So that will be added to recommendation to grant the license to practice medicine. Muslim physicians, they're not just only Muslims, by the way. Under the Islamic umbrella, Islamic civilization, we had, yes, we had Al-Razi, Ibn Nafis, Ibn Al-Haytham, Ibn Sina, Zahrawi, but also we had some Christians like Hanin ibn Ishaq, Ibn al-Qaf, Ibn Maymun, and they had Jewish as well, like Ibn Rahmun and Yaqub ibn Ishaq and others. But they all worked under the same umbrella in the Muslim healthcare system. So we had also ladies. We mentioned Rufayda al-Islamiyya. Rufayda al-Islamiyya was one of the Sahaba, and she practiced, as we mentioned, in Ghazwat al-Khandaq. And the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, they give every year in Bahrain, because they have a partnership with Bahrain Medical School, they give award under her name called Rufayda al-Islamiyya Award, and still going on. And we also had Ash-Shifa, Layla bint Abdullah al-Adawiyya, great lady, and one of the Sahaba. And during the second Khalifa, Umar ibn al-Khattab, Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab, she was being appointed as al-Husba, in charge for al-Husba. Al-Husba means the lady in charge, as health officer. Imagine, from the very early stage, Muslim ladies, this is your history, not as the West want to teach us on the position of Muslim women in Islam. This is our Islam teaches. This is how Muslim female physicians, they were in charge, they were in a high position. She was very much like holding one of the very first public office, health public office, being looking after the Husba. We had another physician called Atiyya al-Ansariya. We had al-Hasan bint al-Qadi bin Ja'far. We had Zainab bint Aoud, we mentioned this, and al-Zahrawi's daughters and granddaughters also. I published little articles a few years ago in 2021 on probably over 36, 37 names, female Muslim physicians. You can go and get it from our journal. I've been honored to be chief editor of the JBIMA, Journal of British Islamic Medical Associations. And by the way, you're all welcome to send articles related to the journals. We'll be more than happy to give you inshallah, advantage to publish in it. So this is over 36, 37, and I'm sure there's more and more if you look at it in more details in the Middle Age. Next slide. Why I'm talking about Muslim females. Look at this, Muslims, women, they were not just only on the front lines. Not just only the front lines. To me, I would say, look, not just on the front, they were on the teaching side. You'll be sitting here, not just only one side. You'll be sitting on the front. You'll be teaching us. This is how Muslims. And not just only that. Some lady mentioned Fatima al-Fahriya. Fatima al-Fahriya was the first lady who established the oldest university in the world. In Fas, in Morocco, and the university called al-Qarawiyyin. al-Qarawiyyin, you have to go and visit Fas, a beautiful little city in Morocco. And Fatima al-Fahriya and her sister as well, they supported this. And this is the oldest university. It's not me, I'm saying this, by the way. This is from the UNESCO. It says Medinat Fas, founded in the 9th century, and the home of the oldest university of the world. So this is, mashallah, credit goes to Muslim lady. I'm saying this because it took Elizabeth Blackwell to flee from America to England in 1858 to become a doctor, registered doctor. Elizabeth Anderson, she could not even, she denied to have license in Britain. She had to learn French herself. She went to France and taught herself French, got the qualification in medicine, and came back to practice medicine, because the male people, they're not listening to me. They're very jealous of the female sisters. So she went to France and she studied and came back to practice. Eleanor Davis Colley, she became the first surgeon, registered surgeon in Britain, Royal College of Surgeons, where we work, only in 1911. So it's almost 100 years ago. But we're saying when Muslims, ladies, over 1400 years they've been doing. This is your history. You need to be proud, our Muslim history, sisters. I'm going to jump anyway. Let's talk about some examples here. So, touching on Ibn Nafis. Ibn Nafis is from Damascus, called Ala ad-Din Ibn Hazm al-Dimashqi. Are you listening, sisters? It's not Muslims, Muslim great scholars. They are not just only a great scholar in medicine, sister. They are great ustaz في علم الفقه الشافعي, المدرسة الشافعية in Cairo, in Qahira, because he moved from Damascus to Mashfa al-Mansuri, Bimaristan al-Mansuri we mentioned. And he's a great man. He wrote a book called شرح تشريح القانون لابن سينا, commentary on anatomy in Ibn Sina's Qanun. And also his great achievement that's his book. So his main achievement, discovering not just only the pulmonary circulation here, but also the coronary arteries. Not too many people knows this. Very, very few. Ibn Nafis, he put the main principles on the blood goes to the heart muscle, not just only by infiltration. No, he's got specific arteries. He studied this. Probably he did anatomy. He's a great, great physician. And this is, again, I'm going to skip this. This is how one of the Egyptian scholar who was doing his PhD in Germany in 1935 near Frankfurt, and he discovered the manuscript of Ibn Nafis and made all these revolutions, mashallah. So this is Ibn Nafis. So Ibn Nafis, in fact, over 500 years before William Harvey. And now recently they start giving the credit to Ibn Nafis. This is John West. He wrote articles on Ibn Nafis and discovery of pulmonary circulation. So I'm going to mention probably maybe one example in a little bit more details. Sister, we talk about Al-Zahrawi. We read about Al-Zahrawi. Al-Zahrawi name is Abu al-Qasim Al-Zahrawi. Abu al-Qasim, in the West they call it Al-Bukasis or Al-Bukasis, Abu al-Qasis or Al-Bukasis. So very well known. He was born in Spain. I like this man. I always tell my student in Britain, in England, where I work, because he was born in Europe. He's a Muslim European, like many of the Muslims practice in England. And also he's a surgeon. That might be probably maybe the reason it was close to my heart. So I saw where the little village he came from. He born in Medina to Zahra. Unfortunately now it's very ruins, it's completely gone. This is near Cordoba. And if you had a chance to go to Andalusia, in Cordoba, there's a little street called Calle Albucasis. It's still under his name. And number 6 is a house completely deserted. It's a closed house. But you can see from the little tiny holes anyway here. This is what I've seen. This is where he lives, and the house is empty. So it's a great man. So I'm going to touch Cordoba that time, back to the Middle Ages, was one of the shining cities, shining figures in the Muslim world, Muslim civilizations. And it has a library, over 500,000 books on the library of Cordoba. Most of the kings of Europe used to send their children to learn science in Cordoba, in Granada, in Ishbilia, Seville. And not just only this, imagine the victorious, the people who runs the Muslim people, they have their own dinar, which has been adopted by even King of England, King Offa. He adopted the Muslim dinar. Look at this. Can you read the kalima, shahada? La ilaha illallah. People thought King Offa probably became Muslim. I don't think he was Muslim. He just copied what Muslim use. Very much like, unfortunately, ourselves now, the American dollars everywhere is the currency of the world. I mean, so this is the time when Al-Zahrawi lived in one of the probably maybe civilized time in Andalusia. Beautiful place. He wrote a book called Al-Tasrif Liman Ajiza An Al-Ta'lif. The method of medicine for who cannot write a book. So you expect everything in the book. The book has 30 volumes. 30 volumes. I'm not going to tell you all about the 30 volumes. I probably touch only on the last volume, which is called the volume for surgery. And the last volume, over 188 chapters. And as the sisters and the brothers mentioned before, he described over 200 instruments, original photos of original instruments. He made it. And he made it from local materials to fit the purpose of what he need to use it for. So he started with the anatomy. As a surgeon, you need to start with anatomy. How many medical students or graduated doctors now here who knows reasonable amount of surgery? Can you raise your hands, please? Final year or year 4, 5, graduate. Do we have any surgeons? No? No. Nobody's like specializing in surgery. So we'll try to go through it very quickly. You probably maybe know that nobody can start surgery without having basic knowledge about anatomy. You need to know some anatomy. And he put here, من لم يكن عالما بما ذكرنا من التشريح لم يخلو أن يقع في خطأ. So you need to read about anatomy before you go and study surgery. General surgery. He did lots of operations. And some of the operations we'll probably maybe will mention here on laparotomy and stitching the abdomen using different techniques. And he had a few different ways. He criticized Galen, his ways, but he used the ant heads as well. You know the ant, some specific ants, it's a biological clip. They've just grabbed, so he let the ant grab on the wound and then cut the head. So it's almost like biological stitching. And also he discovered, as one of the brothers mentioned, the catgut, the stitch made from the animal intestine, the sheep animals. So the catgut, which we still use it, by the way. Catgut, we still use it. Okay. On the other side, you can see here even one of the writer, Fred Raymond, talking about Al-Zahrawi and his achievement. General surgery also, he described Nitu' al-Surra, the umbilical hernia, hydrocele, al-idra al-ma'iyya, al-qila al-ma'iyya, the inguinal hernia, al-fitq al-arabi, call it al-fitq fil arabiyya. Also, the hemorrhoids, the piles. And he described exactly as we do nowadays, the internal and the external. He called it داخل المقعدة وخارج المقعدة. Thyroid, thyroidectomy, removing the thyroid also, and distinguish between different reasons. Is it lipoma or thyroid? And also you can see here some of the articles published talking about Al-Zahrawi, as you can see, published in 2013, Journal International Surgery. Pediatric surgery, he described the hypospadias. We've got, we had pediatricians, Dr. Abdullah. So this is hypospadias and imperforated anus as well. He called al-miq'ada ghayr al-mathquba. And also circumcision, because it's very well practiced. So he has his own ways of doing circumcisions and using special instruments. He was a great surgeon. Urology. In urology, he irrigated the bladder, he removed the stones from the bladder, he removed the stones from the urethra, and also he created and made the catheter that time. And as you can see, he called it تصنع من فضة تكون رقيقة ملساء مجوفة كأنبوب ريش الطائر. This is exactly what, as we use nowadays. They call it, we call it the Foley catheter, but it's slightly like made of flexible and silicone and others. So this is Al-Zahrawi, urologist, and it's been written here. He invented a device to examine even the urethra. So credits being given to Al-Zahrawi. This is orthopedic surgery, trauma and orthopedic surgery. He reduced, he in fact gave very important principles. You have to reduce the dislocation very quickly. If you don't reduce it, it will get swollen and you won't be able to reduce it easily. So you have to reduce it. And he called it ينبغي أن تبادر وترد الفك من ساعتك. الفك means dislocation. من ساعتك means straight. And if you don't do this, it will be very difficult. سيصعب رده. But when you deal with the fractures, he advised to put temporary jabira or splint. So you cannot put full plaster around it. Why? Because you expect there will be more swelling around the fractures. If you put full splint, cylinder splint, this you need to learn it as a medical student. You will be compartment syndrome and there'll be no blood supply coming. So you'll put partial splint, and exactly as we do nowadays, and that's what he suggested. So جبائر لا تطبق توضع عليه الجبائر إلا بعد 5 أو 7 أيام. The full jabira, the full splint, only done after 5 to 6 days. So in practice, his principle is still valid. And trauma, as we know, Muslims, and during the wars, lots of wound amputations. So you have to use the right instrument for the amputation. And he used to make it from the local materials he had. And rib fractures, he criticized Galen, how to reduce rib fractures. Galenos, he thought, we feed the person some food which produce gas, and the gas will push the fractures out. But he criticized this. He said, no, you have to do this surgically. And this is what we do, in fact, nowadays. Anyway, so he had a critical thinking, even against very well known. So he doesn't have this inferior complex. So you need to learn, even as a student, as junior doctors, always have a critical thinking. Say, look, why do they say this? Try to challenge things. Don't take things for granted. Plastic surgery, did he practice? Yes, he did. He did put a few principles. One of them, wound debridement. You know what wound debridement? You have to remove the dead tissue before you close the wound. Treatment of cleft lip. and cleft palate. Al-Zahrawi, he did call it shiqaq al-shafa also. And as we call it, التحام الأصابع, syndactyly, الإصبع الزائدة, polydactyly. He dealt with this as well. This is Al-Zahrawi. Al-Shatra, the ectropion, and he does it in the same way, like wedge. We call the wedge excision, the V. That's exactly what we still do this. One of the technique to treat ectropion, the pulling down of the eyelid. Gynecomastia. Gynecomastia is when the enlargement of the male breast. He treated this, and he advised to use the curved technique, C technique, and he drew it actually, as you can see here, put it as shaqqan hilaliyan. That's exactly as we do nowadays to treat gynecomastia. Cancer surgery, do you think he treated cancer? Yes, he treated two main cancers, and he called it سرطان الفخذ and سرطان الثدي. The سرطان الذي يكون في الثدي أو الفخذ. And he put very important principle. You have to, I'm sorry, it's a bit boring, but we'll try to make it. The main principle, you can't remove the cancer without removing some tissue around it. So you have to make sure you remove some tissue around the cancer. But the main principle is, if the cancer is already advanced, do you still go and remove it? He said no. Why? Because that's what he said. إن كان الورم عظيما لا ينبغي أن يقربه فإني ما استطعت أن أبرئ أحدا منه ولا رأيت قبلي من يفعل ذلك. This is what he said. Sorry, I have to be close to change. I don't know what's going on. So the tumor is large, advanced surgery is not indicated. And this is what we do nowadays. If it's already advanced breast cancer, you can't go for it. He said, I could not cure any patient with advanced cancer. Vascular surgery, yes, he, as you can see here, called الفصل التاسع والأربعون في شق الورم الذي يتعرض قبل الشريان والوريد. This is the دم أبهرية. They call it the aneurysm. And also he discussed this. And there's an interesting book written, they call it Scottish Enlightenment Abroad by Janet Starkey, talking about William. You probably maybe John Hunter. John Hunter is the father of surgery in Britain. This is his brother called William Hunter. And William Hunter, he knew Arabic quite well. So he went visited Halab, Aleppo. And he was introduced to what Abu Qasim did. And he mentioned here, William Hunter research began in publishing, and they called it chapter 49 on aneurysm. ENT, yes. We're talking about ear, nose, throat, ENT. So Al-Zahrawi also did lots of work on ENT. You see, the guy is multi-specialist. The tonsillectomy, he removed the tonsil. He invented the depressor for the tongue depressor. Also, I think, yeah, case report. He put case report on and the follow-up of a lady. And it's quite interesting now here, one of the American surgeon called John Ratzenberger, in 2012, a nice book, Children's Surgery Worldwide History. This is a very interesting book on the history of medicine. And he mentioned Al-Zahrawi and the tonsil guillotine. And tracheostomy, Al-Zahrawi, he practiced this whenever needed. Eye surgery, do you think Al-Zahrawi did eye surgery? Yes, he did. And it's interesting, he used a special instrument he made to treat cataract, al-ma' al-abyad or al-ma' al-nazil, or they call it as-sad. So he used قدح الماء النازل في العين. So he has a special instrument to remove it, exactly as we just did only last 50 years. But recently, the ophthalmologists, they have a different technique by aspirating the lens. So Al-Zahrawi made a reference to this technique, but he didn't claim it to himself. What he said, Al-Zahrawi here, he said, وَقَدْ بَلَغَنِي عَنْ بَعْضُ الْعِرَاقِيِّينَ أنه ذكر أنه يصنع في العراق مقداحا نفوذا تمتص به الماء الأبيض. So that's exactly, I had to do a bit of research myself, and it was in fact Ammar bin Ali al-Musalli al-Kahhal in his book Al-Muntakhab في علم العين, he wrote about this technique. But Al-Zahrawi, this is what interests me. Al-Zahrawi, he never claimed something he didn't do. But he also made a reference for different techniques. This is what other people used to do. And this is the way putting reference. What do we say in علوم الأصول علوم النقل إن كنت مدعيا في الدليل أو ناقلا في الصحة. So you need to, this is evidence-based medicine. You need to support your claim by having references. And this is the history of medicine, the Cambridge history of medicine, talking about Al-Zahrawi and new techniques invented for treatment of cataract on the other eye. Obstetric and gynecology. So hopefully it won't be too long, please, ladies, just bear with me. Normal delivery, he talked about normal delivery in great details. Also, as you can see here, Monica Green, she wrote a book to say how great was Al-Zahrawi. He devoted a total of 10 chapters to women's health, to teach how to do normal and abnormal delivery. One of the issues he did, removal of the dead fetus by using the forceps. He was the first one who described the forceps to remove dead fetus, the dead embryo. And it's interesting, he, as you can see here, he called it al-mishdakh. This is al-mishdakh and the forceps. Forceps al-milqat. And the forceps is two parts, toothed and non-toothed. Okay. So this book actually written by Helen King, she made a reference to Al-Zahrawi and the two kinds of forceps and also Al-Mishdakh. And he described, can we get rid of this? This is the zoom a little bit up. It's interesting, he made a case report, the first one who described the ectopic pregnancy. You know what's ectopic pregnancy? When the pregnancy happened outside the womb. And he was the first one. And this is actually from the book Health and Well-Being in Islamic Society. Was the first accurately described ectopic pregnancy by Al-Zahrawi. Yeah, I'm trying to get, I have to be quite close. Dental surgery, he practiced dental surgery, and he was the first to describe wiring loose teeth as we do nowadays and use the arch bars, and also replacing loose tooth by having a small implant from the cow bone. He created little tooth from the cow bones and put it. And this is a little article by Henry Noble talking about Al-Zahrawi, Al-Bukasis. He doesn't mention transplantation, but give a details method for the successful replantation. This is one of the book in Oxford. And neurosurgery, do you believe he practiced neurosurgery? Al-Zahrawi, 1,000 years ago, in year 1000, by the way, over 1,000 years, because he died in 1013. So 1,000 years ago, Muslim surgeon, he practiced neurosurgery. Yes, he did. He did open the skull.
he mentioned somebody trying to remove a tumor from the neck, and the patient died because he didn't select this patient. Also splintage and removing large bladder. So he put here. Why did I put this slide? Just for the future surgeons. Any type of surgery, you need to learn. Good surgeon, he knows how to operate. Better surgeon, he knows when to operate. But the best surgeon, he knows when not to operate. Because sometimes by operating, you might cause harm. And the lady says no harm. Because you put one of those surgeons. So better not to operate if you're going to cause harm. And this is what he put here. You need to know when not to operate. Instruments, yes, if you go and visit Qurtuba and you see in the little museum on the top of the bridge, very basic instrument. In Morocco, in Halab actually, in Aleppo, if you, this is actually back to 2006, Akhuna Dr. Abdel Nasser Qa'dan, he duplicated this in the history of Islamic medicine in Aleppo. But in Morocco, they have a slightly bigger collection. This is in 2016, but the best one I've seen in 2018 in Morocco, in France. It's really, really beautiful replicate of the Al-Zahrawi's instrument. And also, Rahmatullah alayh, Fuad Siskin, he died a few years ago. He's a Turkish from Kurdish origin, learned Arabic, lived in Germany, and he died. He did lots of instruments on Al-Zahrawi. And this is a beautiful one. Dr. Riyad, you see lots of children. This is what Al-Zahrawi called Al-Mukhadi'a, little instrument to do the circumcision. Fuad Siskin replicated. So you hide the scalp inside by pulling it. And then when you need to use it, so the child doesn't see when you do the circumcision, you just pull it out and use it. So, state of the art. 1,000 years down the line, this is very similar. Nothing changed apart just probably maybe more advanced instrument. But his instrument was really the best on his time. And this is Al-Zahrawi teaching his student Hijama. This is a beautiful clip on the left-hand side published by the FSTC, Foundation for Science, Technology and Civilization, and published in the BBC as well. It's a beautiful on Al-Zahrawi. I wrote a few articles on Al-Zahrawi, you can find it on the internet. So Al-Zahrawi really was really great teacher, extensive surgical experience, practicing, teaching, training, clinical demonstration, observation, bedside manners, giving lectures, drawing in his book, creating one of the very big comprehensive textbook of surgery, emphasis on anatomy and contribution to many surgical techniques and instruments, describing many systemic and topical medications. We only touch on volume 30, by the way. All this talk on Al-Zahrawi, only volume 30. So the 29 volumes talk about medicine, topical treatment, obviously anesthesia, how you do things, antiseptics, because you do surgery, you need to prevent infection, and legacy, important. So, history of medicine, this is dictionary of the history of medicine. Interesting. You can see here what he said. The Al-Zahrawi, Al-Bukasis, he remained the most used textbook of surgery for almost nearly 500 years in Europe. His book. Birota, Al-Zahrawi and Dentistry, Tubb al-Asnan. He said, Al-Zahrawi, his work greatly influenced European dentistry. John Refsenberg, in 2012, he said, Al-Bukasis, he wrote one of the most remarkable quoted surgical textbook of all time, And also, he said our experience as his own experience of practical surgery described specific operation and instrument in general detail. And he tried to tell us, actually not somebody talking about medicine without practicing. By the way, there is quite a few Muslim physicians who talk about medicine, but they never practice medicine. Mention medicine, but they're not really physicians. Al-Zahrawi, he's a surgeon, he made his own instrument, he practiced over 50 years, by the way. He died when he was 77. Ethical code, we mentioned the history of medical ethics. So, one of the nice book, Akhlaq al-Tabib, Ethics of Physician, by Al-Razi. As you can see here, lots of characters of what physicians, Muslim physicians need to be. You need to look after yourself, your health, your knowledge, having good manners, confidentiality, respect others, patients and colleagues, having good faith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have the right treatment. And another book, Firdaus al-Hikmah, al-Tabari, also on medical ethics. Also, one of the sisters mentioned, Ishaq al-Rahawi, he put here the ethics of physician, Adab al-Tabib. Al-Zahrawi himself, he mentioned here, keep away from anything which may negatively affect your reputation in the life and the hereafter. Yeah. ينبغي لكم أن تبعدوا عن ما يخالف أوامر الله سبحانه وتعالى. I wrote a little article on medical ethics in Islamic history. This is published probably 20 years ago in the Jishm. Jishm is actually published in Istanbul now. Journal of the International Society for History of Islamic Medicine. Again, if you really would like to know a bit more on the history of Islamic medicine, please come to me, because we'll be having some projects, inshallah. We'll talk about it in Dr. Riyad later on. So we'll take this forward. We don't want to lose what we've done, the workshop today. We need to take this forward,
inshallah.
I'm sure there's a plenty of talented people here, sisters and brothers, and I'm sure we can do more, inshallah. Health education, what we've done, teaching doctors, teaching general doctors. Now we need to know. Some of them actually like
Al-Razi, he wrote a nice book called من لا يحضره طبيب. من لا يحضره طبيب, the medical guide for public when physician is not available. So what would you tell somebody in a remote village on the top of a mountain? They can't reach, there is no doctor. So the few ideas. And the last thing, influencing medical education in Europe. Al-Tasrif, Al-Zahrawi, his book kept till almost, as we said, 600-700 years in Europe and translated in many languages. Al-Qanun fi al-Tibb, Canon of Medicine, Ibn Sina, he wrote a book, 7 volumes, almost like 1 million words, Prince of Physicians. Al-Hawi, this is the book written by Al-Razi, mashallah. As you can see here, Al-Hawi, this is actually interesting because if you had a chance to go and visit the medical school in Cambridge, you see this in one of the little stained glass window on the medical school. This is say Kitabul Hawi Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's still there in the medical school in Cambridge. And many articles published in the British Medical Journal about the history of medicine and many books on the history of medicine. And I'm just going to show you this. If you just read, maybe it's interesting when you see somebody said Islam was the religion of remarkable tolerance. Islam has been part of Europe for so long. Islam contributed so much towards civilization. You mean the Western civilization. Islam is part of our past and our present. Who's saying this? This is in fact, it's King Charles. He was a Prince of Wales. King Charles, he mentioned this actually in 1993 when they opened the Oxford Center for Islamic Studies. So now we can say with full confidence, this slide is wrong. And this slide has to be like this. So there's a great civilization to fill this gap for 700-800 years. And this is the Muslim civilization. I haven't finished. I like to leave, this is the last slide. I like to finish by having the little saying, only those who remember history can make history. So we have to be really vigilant. We have to learn about our history. And if you please take a little screen.
We can be part of the editing book, and that doesn't need any financial support. That's
need just effort and will. Need irada qawiya. You need a will, inshallah. If you're really keen, I can probably maybe start with the ladies to give them. Yeah, just like here. This is for the gentlemen. We start from the. So just put the name, email, and mobile number. We start table by table. Whoever would like to be part of the focus group, we call it focus group. We'll start maybe as a little, maybe WhatsApp group to start with, and we exchange ideas. And if you would like to be part of the HIM, you'll be very welcome to do so. So this is something, at least I've discussed with Dr. Riyad, if we get something practical out of this, inshallah, workshop, that will make my visit really worthwhile, coming all the way from England.
Probably there are some students, they would like to have some idea before they engage.
Yeah, yeah.
So Dr. Sharif will stay with us, inshallah.
Yes. So if you please maybe fill, whoever would like, just the people would like to, just put the name, mobile number so we can add it to group, and the email if you wish. But
the name, maybe good idea is to say which country you're from. Is that okay? So name, number, and email, please. Jazakallah. Jazakallah khair.
Just by the way, I'm sorry, I didn't. Akhi, I'm sorry. Is there any burning question? I'm sorry, I don't want to be the only person to talk. Is there any burning question? Like, we're just behind time. So 2 questions, 3 questions maximum. تفضل أخي. Sorry. Just tell us who you are, where you're from.
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I want to ask, even though these information, why these
this gap between us all of us. This is very important. Why you are still here? Backwards. These people also have
the others were on the top of the nation. This is a big question. This is what we call $2 million questions. And obviously there is ماذا خسر العالم من أفراد المسلمين. We need to go back and study this in detail, not just only in medicine, on all aspects of sciences in life, unfortunately. Why the Muslims really, but more importantly, what the others really lost by having the Muslims losing out and on the back seat. So this is a big question. More important, how we can get back to the front seat. This is more important because we're just discussing earlier, why do we need to study? Do we really need to go to the history? Do we really need to say, look, our granddad, Al-Zahrawi, Al-Rajul, fantastic. Tell me who you are now. Tell me. People think, why do you need to study medicine? Why do the history? You need to. You need to. I was telling the sisters now before, when you drive a car, yes, you've got a big screen to see in front of you, but you still need little mirror on the side mirrors and on the front mirror to see what happened behind you, to guide you how to go. You can't just drive to the front based on the screen in front of you. It's important, but you need to see behind to guide you so you had no, and this is really important. Any questions, sisters? No?
And my name is Mustafa Muhammad. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. And my question is, since we talked about ethics in Islam and medicine, and as you being a plastic surgeon, and as a Muslim who has interest in plastic surgery, and I'd love to hear your thought on, the perspective of Islam on aesthetic procedures.
Yeah.
Aesthetic procedures.
So the brother is going to open the warm can. He's going to tell us cosmetic surgery, plastic surgery. Tell us, is it halal or haram? Is it? Well, if we need to, three issues. Number one, let's focus on the history. Number two, ethics is a big topic, and I can probably maybe give you big presentation, Islamic medical ethics and plastic surgery. But plastic surgery, this is what I do. It's, I don't do cosmetic, I do plastic surgery, which is reconstruction. Plastic surgery, 7, 8 different specialty, by the way. Not just only aesthetic surgery. Plastic surgery, this is not for the, we can't discuss together. Plastic surgery, it's to do with the trauma, with the hand part of it, to do head and neck, to do congenital, to do with skin grafting, burns, to do with microsurgery, to do breast reconstruction, all type of reconstruction. This is all part of plastic surgery, even elective hand, most of it. Sorry. Okay, akhi, last question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof, for the insightful presentation. Now we realize that Al-Zahrawi did a lot of interesting things. Perhaps when you talked about the plaster of Paris for fractures, I was wondering why did these guys have to name it fracture of Paris, not even maybe Zahrawi or what? My question is how we are
the other people, you're teaching them. You increase, you spread the knowledge. Jazakallah khair.
One time I was in the international cardiology symposium, and one of the main speakers, he mentioned about the circulation and William Harvey. He said he invented the. Then I stood and told him that Ibn Nafis, Ibn Nafis and others, they described it before William Harvey 200 years ago. He said, well, I don't have references. That's what he mentioned.
Now,
I don't have references. If I have references, I will say that it is, I will go back. But until now, we don't have references.
You see, actually, Brother Riyad,
what I've done here, you probably seen in the presentation. I did mention what the other people mentioned about Al-Zahrawi. And I also put the Arabic manuscript and translation on the other side of the slide. So what Al-Zahrawi said and what the other people, Western people said about Al-Zahrawi. So we put reference. I'm claiming something, but I'm defending myself.
This is important. It's evidence-based medicine. We say, look, this is what I claim, but this is my evidence. This is the reference. This is what the other people mentioned.
Exactly.
Jazakumullah khair. I think we can.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum. We have a question here in the finance. Sorry. We have a question here in the finance side. Yes. So the question says, how us as a Muslim physician goes around with the Islamic medicine without feeling as putting in a box. Whenever we speak about Islamic medicine, people perceive us as some, I'm going to be
Sister, I think the word Islamic medicine being slightly misconception because in the subcontinent, in either Pakistan, they go to the Iran. And I'm not talking about, when I mention Islamic medicine, it's not just only using herbs, using habba sauda, using ginger, it's not just only the treatment. No, it's a big package, holistic approach.
It's taking the whole package. How tomorrow we'll focus probably on the ethics. Other day, inshallah, Sister Nabila will tell us about the psychological side, the mental health side. So this is a full package. Islamic medicine is not just only a treatment using specific type. It's not just only Tibb al-Nabawi. No. Jazakallah khair.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our respected scholars, our doctors, our students, and guests from all around the world. My name is Saad Ali. from Kenya, and I'm deeply honored to welcome you all to this historic event. It is the 23rd International Camp for Medical Students taking place for the first time in Kenya. I will be co-hosting this opening ceremony with my colleague, Ayan Hassan, and together we are grateful to stand before a gathering of brilliant minds, devoted mentors, and future leaders in medicine. To each and every one of you who has traveled long distances across many countries, continents, and time zones, we would like to officially thank you for being here, and your presence really reflects the spirit of unity, knowledge, and purpose that this camp was built on. So before we start our opening ceremony, I would like the following 7 distinguished individuals, our guests, to come forward and take their seats at the high table. So I'll start by Dr. Riyad Abu Sulaiman. You can come on stage. Next is Dr. Madhu Hassan. You're welcome on stage. Next will be Dr. Abdullah Majabir, followed by Sheikh Rishad Rajab, Mr. Martin Jira, Dr. Ayub Abu Khair, welcome on stage. And we also have Sheikh Istanbul, welcome on stage. And also to our lovely speaker, Dr. Sharif, you're welcome on stage. Yeah, you're welcome. So to begin our program officially, we'd like to start with the blessings and reflection as we turn to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'd like us to please welcome Brother Abdul Salam Saeed Kizongo from North Coast University to recite for us a portion of the Holy Quran. Welcome on stage, Brother Abdul Salam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يوم تجد كل نفس ما عملت من خير محضرا وما عملت من سوء تود لو أن بينها وبينه أمدا بعيدا ويحذركم الله نفسه والله رؤوف بالعباد قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم قل أطيعوا الله والرسول فإن تولوا فإن الله لا يحب الكافرين إن الله اصطفى اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين ذرية بعضها من بعض والله سميع عليم إذ قالت امرأة عمران رب إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم فلما وضعتها قالت رب إني وضعتها أنثى والله أعلم بما وضعت وليس الذكر كالأنثى وإني سميتها مريم وإني أعيذها بك وذريتها من الشيطان الرجيم فتقبلها ربها بقبول حسن وأنبتها نباتا حسنا وكفلها زكريا كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا قال يا مريم أنى لك هذا قالت هو من عند الله إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallahu khairan for that beautiful recitation. Jazakallahu khairan, Salam, for that beautiful recitation. My name is Ayan Hassan. I will be the co-moderator with Sadruddin for this session. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys very much for making your way here and joining us for a beautiful week, inshallah. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Martin Jiva to welcome us officially to this venue and introduce the wonderful team behind the scenes and introduce the team that has opened their homes and hearts to us for this week.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Martin Jiva. I am the marketing manager of Saywak Beach Hotel. And on behalf of the entire management, board of directors, and staff of Saywak Hotel, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to this lovely resort. I understand it's been a long period of planning and arranging for this event. And just to take a few minutes of your time, I'd like to introduce my team, which is behind the scenes. I have my colleague with me here. This is Tracy Murray. She's my colleague. She's the reservations and front office manager. She's been playing a very important role in making sure that this event is happening well as per your requirements and demands. Thank you very much. I would also like to recognize our general manager in absentia. His name is Mr. Zamir Khan. I think we've met him, we've had some meetings with him. He's also played a very crucial role. Our directors, Mr. Aman, our chairman, Mr. Salim Melo, without forgetting him, he's really helped us a lot to make sure that this event goes as we expect. And just to give a little brief of how the event will be going, I've been informed that the ladies will be having their all the teas will be served from this hall. I mean, the two setups so that we do not interfere with the program, as in we have a smooth running of the program. So all your teas will be served from here, starting this afternoon. So I believe that will give us a wonderful time. And again, we know we're in Mombasa. We travel from different parts of the world or different parts of this country to come and make sure this event is well. We in Mombasa, we would like you guys to work a lot. As much as you're here studying, you have your objectives, but also spare time to enjoy the sea, enjoy Mombasa, and enjoy our culture as well. I'm not going to take much of your time. I wish you a wonderful event. Enjoy, and we're going to achieve our goals, inshallah. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jira, and we really appreciate you and your team and Sairok for hosting us. So next, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, someone who is deeply committed to the future of medical professionals in this region, and he is also the convener of the student chapter, and he is a respected consultant pediatrician and also the Secretary General of the Kenya Association of Muslim Medical Professionals. Please welcome Dr. Abdullah Bajabir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think I had opened initially, but I'll just read something so that keep my line of thoughts together. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to Mombasa, a city of rich history, diverse cultures, and warm hospitality. On behalf of the Kenya Association of Muslim Medical Professionals, we are honored to host you in this beautiful coastal city. CAMP is an organization that brings together healthcare professionals of the Islamic faith here in Kenya with the aim of building capacity, advancing medical knowledge, and serving our communities in line with Islamic values. Today, as we gather under the theme Medicine Through Time, an Islamic perspective, we reflect on a legacy that spans centuries. From the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, who said, Allah did not send down a disease except that He sent down its cure. To the timeless wisdom of Imam Shafi'i that I always have to repeat, who emphasized that knowledge is of two kinds: knowledge of religion and knowledge of the body or of health. Medicine has always held a noble position in Islam. Leadership in medicine is not just about titles or positions. It is about service, responsibility, guiding others towards excellence. As students, you are not just the future of healthcare. You are the present torchbearers of this rich legacy. You have a duty to lead with compassion, competence, and consciousness of Allah in your work. I wish to sincerely thank my teams from Maya, FEMA, Islamic Medical Association of Saudi Arabia, and our very own CAMP team here in Kenya that has worked tirelessly to make sure that you have a wonderful time in this city of Mombasa. Your dedication is what makes gatherings like this possible and impactful. May this camp be a journey of learning, building, discovering the true value of medicine in Islam. Welcome to Mombasa, Karibuni Islam.
Thank you, Dr. Bajabir, for your leadership vision and for empowering the next generation of Muslim healthcare professionals. Next up, we're honored to welcome an international medical leader, an advocate for Islamic medical collaboration. He is the Vice President of FEMA and is delivering remarks on behalf of the Secretary General of WAMI. Please help me welcome Dr. Riyad Abu Sulaiman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of the Secretary General of World Assembly of Muslim Youth, WAMI, I am presenting his greetings and blessing for this 23rd camp. As you know, WAMI is supporting the student chapter in FEMA, and alhamdulillah, this is the 23rd international camp for medical students. I am happy to see all the students, which are the main focus of our program. With the help of our seniors and supervisors, international speakers, and guests, we will be able to have a wonderful week, inshallah, for the sake of, I am happy to see all, for the sake of this, the objectives of this student chapter, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran, Dr. Riyad, for your wisdom and a powerful reminder of our unity. And we're really honored by your presence. So next, I would like to welcome a remote medical expert coming from the holy city of Medina. He serves as an oral and maxillofacial consultant, and he's also the head of department at King Fahad Hospital, and also a board member of IMAXA, the medical chapter of WAMI. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ayyub Abul Khair. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Dear respected organizers, dear respected guests, dear respected leaders and the representative of Islamic Medical Associations, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's really an honor to be here. Alhamdulillah, everyone or almost everyone that make it to be here, alhamdulillah. And we are so blessed to be here on this ceremony on the Kenya, Mombasa. And this event wasn't happen unless that the collaboration between the FEMA, IMAXA, which is the Islamic Medical Association of KSA, and CAMP, the Islamic Medical Association of Kenya. Alhamdulillah, all the efforts that that it has been through the previous months, alhamdulillah, it's starting, and we wish, inshallah, to reach to our goals, inshallah. We will talk a little bit about the FEMA SAC, which is the student chapters of FEMA, and this is one of the main activities that it will be concentrating on from the FEMA SAC. We are dedicated as a FEMA SAC to improve our students, to collect them or to give them the information that usually they will not get it from the universities. We want to adhere that and to compare it, so we will have, inshallah, in the future, medical professionals, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, that they have the full medical degrees, and in addition to that, they have the Islamical ethics, as well as the manners and the keys to improve the ummah and the local community. On our FEMA SAC, we have a lot of goals. We can summarize it by, we have 3 key programs that we usually do. One of them is what we are coming today, which is the annual student camp. We are doing it yearly by yearly. Alhamdulillah, we didn't stop for the last 23 years, maybe only 1 year that we stopped, and we had a virtual during the COVID pandemic. Then we have the annual Umrah. We usually do it every year, alhamdulillah, also. We used to have male and females on the same Umrah. Since last year we changed, so we made last year a female group, and inshallah in the coming year we are expecting a male group that they will come for Umrah, inshallah. And we have a monthly Inspire meeting, which is usually a student meeting that we are doing it on the last Saturday of every month. And by this Inspire meeting, we have a continuous connection and the continuous improvement and collaboration and the connection with the expert. We usually bring, mashallah, an expert from FEMA, Dr. Sharif, also one of our hosts that he gave us lectures, and we are encouraging everyone so to get connected through the FEMA SAC, inshallah, Inspire series. And this is one of the important programs that we want everyone to get engaged, and we are sure that all of us will get benefits, including even the organizers and the student as well. So our series, it's aimed to multiple goals included to help the student to get an informed an academic and the career choices. So we are organizing some of the pathway or a career advertisement, and also to build a trust international network, so all of us can connect it through each other. Wherever we are, we can get connected, thankfully for the technology. And we need also to strengthen the FEMA missions that all of us are working, and we want to nurture our skills and to be a principal in our generation. All the topics were carefully selected and carefully studied by our chairman, Dr. Atallah Rahali, that he is sending all this around to all of you. And imagine that from 42 countries, what if we get 5, 10 students from all these countries? What the things that we can accomplish? So we also, again, we are strengthening and we are reinforcing about the importance of the series that we are implemented. And inshallah, with your cooperation, with your efforts, we inshallah can make a lot of projects, a lot of things that it can improve us, improve the community, and improve the Ummah overall. Before I finish my my words, to all the participants for your come, all of these efforts was only for you. Not only to come here and spend some days and leave. No, we want this to be a camp that it will give us an impact for our days, for our future, and inshallah later on in our career. And Dr. Riyad, he gave a lot of stories, and there were a lot of stories that it was started by an ideas, that it was converted to a project. Some of the project was taken by the whole FEMA. So we want all of us to feel the moment and to try our best to engage our brotherhood, brother and sisters, and to see and to get the maximum from each program, get the maximum from each expert. We will have a time that we will have a tea break. We can spend it by just take some jokes, or we can also engage by our colleagues that we know each other, by engaging also with our seniors that we can get benefit from them. We are expecting a lot. May Allah inshallah make this campus with a success as we wish and more inshallah. And we should inspire ourselves, inspire our brothers and sisters, and inshallah to increase our knowledge. Allahumma ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That was Dr. Ayub. Thank you, Dr. Ayub, for wisdom and sharing your journey with us. Next up, I would like to invite Sheikh Istanbul. So this is a distinguished figure whose voice and work have left a deep imprint in the Kenyan coast and beyond. He's a respected historian, media personality, and a researcher, known for his compelling storytelling and deep cultural insights. He currently serves as the director at Saudi Yapwani FM, a leading Islamic radio station in Mombasa. Please join me in welcoming Sheikh Istanbul to the stage.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابته المنتجبين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It is a great pleasure, and let me thank Allah first for all this. I thank the committees concerned and the organization for inviting me, but most of all, I thank very much my dear brother Dr. Ashraf for highlighting me on this issue and convincing me of the importance of attending. I'd like to start my talk as from where my dear brother left his presentation. I was very interested by the questions that came along. And I'd like to build up from the questions. First, from my dear brother sitting here, when he said, and why are we like this? That's one. Two, there's another brother who put forward a question, what can they do first to know what you talked about and what is to be done from your lecture? I picked on these two questions because as a researcher on the historical aspect of both Islam in our region, first and foremost, I would like to inform you who may not be knowing this, that Islam came to this region before going to Medina. We are that rich. 5th year is when Islam came to where they call Ethiopia. Aksum Ja'far bin Abi Talib, Uthman ibn Affan and their wives. It's about 110 Sahabas who came, both men and women. This also most Kenyans don't even know. And being Muslims, we fell under the yoke of the crusades, the last crusades that came through Vasco da Gama. We are being taught in school that this was an explorer, but he wasn't. And there's a very important book, if you would quote, find it. I'd share it with Dr. Ashraf so that he gives it to you in your group. It's called The Portuguese Period in East Africa. Published in Kenya by a company known as Kenya Literature Bureau. But what they did to our people for 200 years consecutively cannot be compared even to what Hitler did to the Jews. They slaughtered our rulers, took their heads to Goa in India. We haven't got them back till today. Islam and medicine needs to go back in history, as the brother said, and know where we are from. Be able to calculate where we are at and how are we moving forward from here. Without knowing history, we would always be agonizing and we are not organizing ourselves. We are not outnumbered, we are not out-educated, we are out-organized. So we stick to agonizing instead of we would always be second fiddle. And we are supposed to be first, because the first world existed between our coast, that is South Africa towards East Africa, the Middle East from Yemen and all this other side. That was the first world to Far East. How do we become second world or third world or a forgotten world? The main problem and best aspect of our problem is we talk Islam more than do Islam. Palestine is just a good example. We talk, we make dua, we give hopes, but we don't find solutions. We don't solve our problems. I wouldn't like to take much of your time and say, may the Almighty bless us all and guide us abundantly. Thank you for welcoming me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Sheikh Istanbul, for always connecting us, reminding us of our roots. And we read Sheikh Khalifa Secondary School, and also a graduate of
بحل وقوي برحمتك نستغيث يا ذا الجلال والإكرام إله إله كل شيء. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أما بعد, the beauty of not knowing you're going to speak is not preparing a speech. The beauty of not preparing a speech is an opportunity to speak from your heart. Distinguished organizers and guests, I'd like to welcome you to Mombasa, alhamdulillah, much as I'm not the governor. Secondly, since we have students in front
this field to be the Indian, so that you can not only replicate what they did, but also probably come with something new in this era of technology and civilization. You have a choice to be a doctor who is a Muslim or to be a Muslim doctor. And there is such a big difference between the two. There is a choice on it between being a doctor who is a Muslim and a Muslim doctor. There is a big difference between the two. If you are going to be I will argue to be a Muslim who is a doctor, therefore you will be able to practice Islam before medicine, and that will make your profession, you as a doctor, a very successful doctor. And maybe we will start going to India or France or other European countries to seek medicine, and we will start going to Islamic countries to actually get with those few remarks. May Allah bless this occasion. May Allah bless everybody involved. Shukran wa jazakumullah khair.
Barakallahu fiqh, Sheikh Rishad, for your lifelong service to education and da'wah, and for your very beautiful remarks. Next up, I would like to invite Dr. Hanan Ishaq. Dr. Hanan is an assistant professor in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, College of Medicine at Princess Noura bint Abdul Rahman University in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. She also serves as a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist affiliated with Princess Noura bint Abdul Rahman University Clinical Training Hospitals. She is a consultant in women's health, overseeing clinical training and patient care in affiliated university hospitals. Let's put our hands together to welcome her for a few minutes.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Dear all, welcome to this gathering. I will not give a long speech, but I really am really happy to stand in front of you, thanking all the organizers, the WAMI, the FEMA, and the Kenyan IMA, to give us this opportunity to gather together from all over the world, being Muslims first, and then seeking the pleasure of Allah or ajr from Allah in practicing the most noble job in the world, which is medicine. I hope, inshallah, that we will get out from this camp with more ideas, more inspiration, and more strength in our faith to stand up in our, well, I would say, difficult era, or where we have the Palestinian war now and genocide, and we really need to be together, connect together as Muslims from everywhere, so that we can stand up in front of all of the struggles that we are having. Jazakumullah khair, and inshallah we'll meet again and again in other FEMAs and in maybe other projects, hopefully, around the world and in Jannah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hanan, for joining us today. It's a big honor to have you here with us. So next, our next speaker is a familiar face. I know you've all met with him. It is an honor to welcome Professor Sharif Kaf Al-Ghazal, who, you know, I was the one who welcomed Professor Sharif. Despite traveling the whole night, he arrived at 3 a.m. And despite all that, he's here with us. So may Allah reward him. And briefly, he's a consultant plastic and reconstructive hand surgeon in the UK, leading plastic surgery at the Bradford Teaching Hospitals. He's also a medical historian and a founding member of BIMA, the British Islamic Medical Association, and the chief editor of its journal. As the Secretary General of the International Society for the History of Islamic Medicine, he has worked tirelessly to highlight Islam's rich medical heritage. Please welcome Dr. Professor Sharif Kaf Al-Ghazal.
Assalamu alaikum. I think you probably maybe had enough from me anyway. So I'm going to be very short, inshallah. As Sheikh said, I think we need to take some maybe practical points. Maybe a couple of things. Number one, I know the first president for British Islamic Association, BIMA, is a gentleman who's been to one of these leadership workshops here in the WAMI. You probably maybe know him, Dr. Hamad Lodi. So you will be, inshallah, not just only the ambassadors in your own Islamic medical associations or in your countries. No, you will be also active member, future leaders, inshallah. So keep this in mind. Number two, you need to be very positive, inshallah. With all negativity we can see around, you need to be very positive. Inshallah, Islam will win, end of the day. But we need the right people like you, inshallah, to be on the front seat. And we need to repeat our history. And if we don't know our history, it's difficult to repeat it. So this is why I'm saying we need to educate ourselves. What I'm trying to say really is to be positive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always mentioned this. In fact, one of the very famous hadith, at the very last time of life, if you have only little plant and the qiyamah is almost going to be, just go and plant it, knowing even that you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to make advantage of it. إن كان في يد أحدكم فسيلة فليقم وليزرعها. So you need to be positive. You need to be practical and active, inshallah, active. This is my advice. Jazakum Allah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khairan, Prof. Now, finally, for the moment we've all been waiting for, we're honored to hear from our chief guest, Dr. Madiha Salim. She's a role model to many, a distinguished healthcare professional and a passionate advocate for excellence in medical education and leadership. Please welcome Dr. Madiha Salim for her keynote speech.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm just speechless. My students have set me up today. I just have no words. I'm just a very happy person today. I was called by Dr. Ashraf. I remember it was last weekend. I was busy shopping at the supermarket with my husband, and then he calls me and he tells me, I'm inviting you for this workshop. And I told him, okay, I'll have to go and check my schedule. And then he keeps on calling me all the time. Are you coming? I said, yeah, I will come. And then I told my husband yesterday, why is Dr. Ashraf insisting that I have to attend this conference and I'm not a practicing medic, I'm more in psychology and in education. And then in the morning, he called me again. And he said, no, why is he insisting that I come? And I don't regret coming. I don't regret coming because I am seeing the fruits of my labor. I have taught enough of the doctors in this room. I was a teacher at Sheikh Khalifa Secondary School. I taught there for 20 years. I taught Dr. Nabila. I was her class teacher. I received her when she was in Form 1, green, shy. I'm a very proud teacher, very proud. I cannot, I can say, stand up and I take roll call here. To me, you will always be my students. I'm currently working at Technical University of Mombasa. I am the Dean, School of Humanities and Social Sciences. My areas of specialization is counseling psychology. Once in a while, I contact Dr. Nabila, but I have not seen Dr. Nabila from the time she left Sheikh Khalifa in Form 4. I am meeting her after 26 years. And many others. As a teacher, I cannot be able to remember all of you. You have grown old. Yes. You have definitely changed. You have put on weight. You now have wrinkles. Okay? Now, my advice to the students who are here is just do your best. We are fighting a battle. We are always considered to be lesser important. We cannot do it. I am an example. I was a high school teacher. As my colleagues chit-chatted during break time, I challenged myself to do my master's program. Then I left the high school setup. I went to the university as a university counselor. I joined the university not as a lecturer, but as a counselor. So I ran the counseling unit for around 6 years, and I dared myself to do my PhD. And then later, I moved to full academics. I am greatly inspired. I was greatly inspired by the presentation of Prof. He's really inspired me so much. If great people like Al-Kahrawi and Ibn Sina. He said he lived for 7 years. It's like he's lived for 500 years. He has achieved so much. So I believe I haven't done much yet, and I'm at this age. So dearest sons and daughters, because to me, you're sons and daughters, don't just get satisfied with little achievements. You just have to do your best. Even where I am seated, I always tell my students, I'm still on transit. I am the dean, but I'm still on transit. So long as I can breathe, then I will push myself to the next level of success. So after your graduation, don't just sit still. There is a lot that you need to do for the community around the world. You need to practice as medics, you need to do research. There's a lot that you need to do as far as your time is concerned. So long as you're breathing, push yourself forward. We were having very interesting discussions with Dr. Hanan until she was drawing diagrams for me. But I tell you, you have been given a gift of life. Allah has given you a gift of life. Do not leave this world until you have made a huge impact like these great scholars. And it should not be an effort of one person. We need hundreds and thousands of Ibn Sina, we need hundreds and thousands of Al-Kahrawi and the rest. Then we will be felt, and then we'll make a difference. Otherwise, thank you so very much. And this has actually been a huge surprise. Shukran. He's also one of them. I want to take a photo. Take a photo. Nabila. She was a shy girl from Bungoma with the brother. I also taught the younger brother. So I just want to give her a hug for this, and take a photo because I need to share it. We have a group of teachers that we still engage. I want to show them my baby has grown into something. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for the surprise. Shukran.
She's still shy. I'm still shy.
Alhamdulillah, what a beautiful, enriching opening ceremony it has been. On behalf of the organizing team, I want to sincerely thank our speaker, Dr. Madiha, for her inspiring words, as well as all our incredible speakers who have taken the time to share their wisdom, their experience, and encouraging us today. So to all our student delegates and guests from across the globe, thank you for being part of this historic moment. And this is the first time that the camp is being hosted in our country. And we hope our country and its people reflects in every part of your state. And for now, we are about to move on to two very important things. So we will break for Dhuhr prayers. And the second thing is almost everyone's favorite part of the program, the food and the lunch. So we will break for Dhuhr prayers and we'll follow by lunch, inshallah. Once again, thank you all for attending today's opening ceremony, and may this camp be a source of knowledge and connection and barakah for everyone here. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we break, we will have our speakers will have a group photo, and then we can break. Let's just be patient a little bit. I know we're waiting for the food.
We've written the list.
أهلنا وقرابات لنا في ديننا